Creating Windows Movie Maker Effects in Blender, Part 1. Windows Movie Maker was included in Windows 7 and has since been discontinued, though you can still find the program by searching for Windows Photo Gallery 2012. You will need to be careful, as most of the sites contain viruses instead of the program you're searching for. I will provide a link in the description of the video to the site that I downloaded the program from. Please note that I'm not saying the site is completely safe, but it is where I got my copy of the program from. The program has some very interesting effects, including transitions, captions, adding titles, and credits. The program can also add filters to your videos. We are going to be recreating all of these in Blender. In this video, I will cover creating text effects. There are 24 text effects that can be added to text, with some of them being more complicated than others. I will include timestamps in the description of the video if you want to skip to a specific effect. Some effects are created in a similar way to each other, so I will cover the basics of how they are created. The fade effect is the first one that I will recreate in Blender. We can also fade the text out as well, an option that was not available in Movie Maker. To achieve this, we will be animating 3 mix shaders in the material editor. These mix shaders are mixing in a transparent node to a diffuse node. I attempted this only using one mix shader. However, using this configuration gives more control and a smoother transition from transparent to opaque. Here I have set up the file already. I will start a new file and take you through the steps. So we will get things started with starting a new file. Sure, saving the changes. We're going to delete the default cube. We're going to reset the rotation and location of the camera. Z to move it up on the Z-axis. We go up by about 14. We're going to take this point light. We're going to change it out for a sun lamp. We're going to reset the rotation and location. Right now it's super bright, so we're going to change the strength down to 1. I'm going to move it up. It doesn't matter where the sun lamp is in the scene. It's universal lighting. I'm going to go into camera view. Press A to unselect everything. Going to Shift A, and we're going to add text. And we're going to change it so that the horizontal is center. The vertical is center. And press Tab to go into edit mode. We're going to delete the text, and we're going to write your movie. Go back out of the edit mode. If we want to say have the movie underneath this title, or the video underneath this title, there are several ways to go about that. We can do it in compositing, or we can do it in the 3D in the 3D environment. If we do it in compositing, we will have to change the film to be transparent. But we are going to not have anything underneath that for this example. So we're going to go to the World tab in the Properties editor. I'm going to change this color from gray to black. And then I'm going to go into the shading tab. It takes a few moments for it to get ready the first time. I'm going to assign a material. This material was for the default cube. I'm going to delete the principled shader. We don't need all of that. I'm going to Shift A and add the diffuse shader. We're going to connect it up to the surface of the material output node. I'm going to Shift A. We're going to add a mix shader. And as we're hovering over the line, we'll see that it is highlighted so that it will park itself right in there, start affecting the material. I'm going to Shift D, move it over to about right there. Then we're going to Shift R to do it again. Move this over a little bit. Select these. Move it back so that it is in the field of view. Then we're going to Shift A. We're going to add another shader. This time it's a transparent shader. Connect them up. And then, if we want it to start out as being completely transparent, we will change these to 0.9. 0.9. As you can see, it's very transparent now. 0.9, and it basically disappears. So then, when we want to animate it, we will right-click on the fraction and use keyframes. Then we will keyframe it so that it appears, and then we can make it disappear. Like that. The next 7 effects can be created by keyframing the location, rotation, or scale of the text object, or a combination thereof. In Movie Maker, there was only one option. However, in Blender, there are an infinite number of ways we can rotate the text. The 2 zoom effects can be created by keyframing the focal length of the camera, or by keyframing the location of the camera. Here I will show you creating the effect. The first 4 cinematic effects are lens flare effect. The next 2 can be created using the same technique we used to create the fade in effect for the text. The first 2 in the contemporary effects category can be recreated by keyframing the location of an object. The other 6 effects are more complicated and can be recreated in Blender using shape keys. Here I have set up the file already. I will create a new file and take you through the steps. There is always a basis shape key. That's what the shape will default to whenever no other shape keys are selected or have any values. So whenever we move the shape key, everything moves into location. Then whenever we continue to move it, everything continues to move until it gets off the screen. Shape keys are a linear deformation of the object mesh. So let us let's use this file. Going to Shift A, add a mesh. Going to move it down just a little bit. It's double planing. Going to scale. We're going to create the shape that we want it to be. Sure, that looks interesting. Then we're going to add basis shape key. Move that down. And this is really up to you whenever you do it, what you want it to look like in the end. Really, the important part is that it starts off as none of it on the screen. And then whenever you select your shape key, you put everything on the screen to where you want it. Then we're going to change the shape key maximum value so that it can go up. The maximum value can go up to 10. If we put 100 in there, it defaults to 10. But we're probably only going to need probably a maximum 4 to get everything past the screen again, or past the visible area. So we're going to change the value of the shape key 1. We're going to see everything come together how we had it, and then continue off the screen to, then we'll change the maximum value to match this 0.78. 0.738. so that as we move it, go from completely off the screen, and we can keyframe this. So we can start from completely off the screen to the position that we want, keyframe that there, and then keyframe it again before we want it to start moving. We can have it move off the screen. It's a long topic, and if you are still here, I would like to thank you for watching the whole video. This was only part 1. In the next video, I will recreate the pan and zoom effects, as well as transition effects in Blender, and show you how to do it. Good luck and happy animate video editing.